Good afternoon. So first of all, thank you, Jonas, for promoting me to vice president. I think I should come here more often. I am the manager for Global Stakeholder Engagement. The vice president is now traveling to Los Angeles to the ICANN headquarters. He couldn't be here, so I'm here in this place on his behalf, and we work on the same issue. So it's just a matter of distributing the time and tasks. So let me take you through the presentation and to give you more information on the gTLD programs and what ICANN does and how this program came to be. And thank you, Jonas, because you made some interesting points, and I think already some questions or interest in that. So let me go. Okay, so I will go through an overview of the program, why ICANN is doing this, and then some basic who, when, what, and how. And then at the end, I will give you more information on how to actually get more information, participate into this program. I make sure that I'm seeing the time there. This one? That's I thought. Can you hear me better now? Okay. Good. So just to give you the basic, I'll be really quick on these parts, and then if you have questions, I can go back. So that's how it works. That's when you, nowadays you do less and less because you go through a search engine, but that's how the internet architecture works. When you want to reach a domain name, you type this line, and this line is basically divided into 3 levels. That's the 3rd level. So in this case, I'm taking just an example, meetings.icann.org. And at the 2nd level, you have ICANN, which is which helps you in getting closer to what you want. And at the 1st level, the top level, is the .org, and that's the part that we are focusing now. That's what is being under innovation lately. So the first or top level domain names, we call it, well, the name is gTLD, as generic top level domain names. Is also known by a number of synonyms, label, string, suffix, and these are, let's say, the only characters that you actually cannot change on your own until now. That's, you have to go. You can put everything which is left-hand side of the dot. You can put whatever you want, as you saw. You can put meeting.icon. You can put the name of your company or of your family, but not the last part of the string. The right-hand side, you cannot touch that one. You have 2 different kinds of top-level domain names so far. The gTLD is so far .com or .org or .info, for instance. And then the ccTLD.be that are they're basically the geographic definition of a country on the internet. And then now we are also introducing these IDN, internationalized domain names. Till so far, all what is written on the right-hand side of the dot was possible to be written only using Latin script. And ICANN has been introducing, because the community asked for, to change that and to allow Arabic script or Chinese script to be also on the right-hand side of the dot. So just to give you more information how the whole system works. So here we have up there what it's called the root, which is basically, as the name says, the lowest level of the internet. And on the root, you have these 2 groups of top-level domain names, the generic top-level domain names, and so far it's, I think it's 22 or 23. And but now we are going into this into this program of expanding the number and getting new domain names. So we'll see how. And then we have the ccTLDs, so the domain names that are attached to a single country. And there is a program which is, as I just mentioned to you, which allows to have those strings in other scripts. Now, the important thing is that you see that these two programs were started in parallel by ICANN. Now, you can also have on the new gTLD, so in this part, you can also have domain names in different scripts. So it started as a fast track for countries because countries were asking for that, but then will be also open to everybody. Okay, the whole DNS, I mean the domain name system, basically how ICANN function is a kind of complex ecosystem, and just to give you an idea. So you, the registrant, that you want to have your domain name, it can be a physical person, it can be a company. You have three options basically. You can go and have .be, and so you have a gTLD registry you have to go to. You can register under a gTLD, and so .com so far or .info, but then you have new gTLDs. And then you can go to that. That's not really clear here, but there is a market of resellers of this thing. And they are all connected to ICANN. And if you want, I can go then also in details on how the system of ICANN works. But ICANN per se is delegating, is basically creating a process to have these names. But it's not you as a registrant to go straight to ICANN to have your name or you want to register. You pass through these other stages. Okay, now when you apply for a new top-level domain name, so a new gTLD, you're actually embarking in a quite complex endeavor because it is a business with very specific requirement. You will be running a key part of the internet infrastructure, and you need to have at that level an agreement with ICANN, and you need to follow certain specific rules which ensure that the security and stability of the internet is preserved. But I think for this audience, that's something you ought to know, but that's not your direct interest, because then you will be relating directly with the registrar, unless you want to apply for a new gTLD, and then you will become a registry, and so you will be able to manage this new space on the internet. You can do your own business with that. You can sell it. You can keep it by yourself. You can give it to your family. That's something also we're going to see here. So the question is, why suddenly we moved from a number of gTLDs, this 22 I think, into an entirely new program? Well, that's something that comes out from a discussion of around 8 years within the different communities within ICANN, and where there was, as Jonas mentioned before, there is that nowadays if you want to register soccer.be, there is no way you're going to get this name. So there is a problem of limitation, and that has to be addressed. And here is a timeline of the gTLDs. You see, before, when you had when Jonas had to fill the paper application to get .be, at that time ICANN wasn't there yet. No, well, in 98, ICANN was just started, and there were just a few domain names, and then in different waves these domain names expanded, but here it's linear way, but in a not so consolidated way. It was more on a single request or a single need. But at that time, also the internet was really different from the internet of today, and the numbers of users and the importance of the internet was really different. So that was also an important factor of that. So when in December 2005 till to September 2007, there was this intense discussion on whether the system had to move, had to change, had to evolve, and to expand the possibilities of the top-level domain names. And finally, the ICANN board approved this request to have liberalization, actually, of the domain names. And that means that now you have to set the rules for that. I said, okay, how do you do that? Which are the criteria? And so there was another long and extensive series of consultation to get this applicant guidebook for new gTLDs. So all the rules and what you have to do and what that entails and what you have to do to apply to have this one. And the application period was from January till May 2012, where a total of 1930 applications were received. And then we enter into this evaluation period. And at the end of the presentation, I will give you a more updated timeline to see where we stand now. So this part here, when you will actually see these new top-level domain names, when physically will be accessible, I can anticipate before we reach the end of the presentation. It's probably by the end of this year, or early next year. We're really close to that. So here I don't want to bother you too much with the whole process to get your application for a new top-level domain name. I'm happy to give you more information on that if you want to, but just to give you just a few ideas. Well, also this question that I had just presented a few moments ago, why to do that, why to expand the top-level domain. First, as I mentioned, the need to get other scripts on the internet. Because as the internet started growing, the number of users from non-Latin script using language started growing as well. Now, I think every 4 internet users, one is Chinese, for instance. So they also had issues because if you want to type on a Chinese keyboard, you actually can type till the second level domain, the second level of the string, but you cannot go on the first level, on the top level. And then also because you actually opening up a new competition. At the end, the market was closed, but in a way it was artificially closed because you had 22 names, and you had a bunch of companies, a small number of companies that had the management of those and had a contract with ICANN. And well, when you have a monopoly, you know that usually the consumer is the one that pays more for that. And so to break that and to open to more competition, to have more innovation, there was this strong push to get this program going. So what is the potential impact for the business? Well, you have more opportunities for investment. You have more opportunities to get your own business visible and have its own space on the internet. As I said, you have more choice and competition. You actually have new ways of getting new business models with the internet, with the domain name system. I'm seeing a lot of interesting examples. I mean, we don't know yet, but for instance, there are companies that they are applying for this program to have their own string that they will use only for the internal services. So it will be highly secured. You can have, there is, for instance, a Chinese applicant who's applying for .love in Chinese, and his business plan is basically to sell it as a Valentine present for lovers. I mean, there are all sorts of business models. Now, that's not an ICANN task to push out and propose new business models. That's again to keep things clear, but just to give the opportunity to have these things rise. And then, well, there are also some technical requirements that have to be taken by businesses because some technology, they are hard engineered to recognize only some top-level domain names for security reasons. So now you have a whole new, in theory, limitless numbers of, now we have 1930, but that we will see in the future, of domain names, so you have to also adapt on the technology side. And, well, there are impact for governments and communities and in more general. You make sure that you have cities that have their own top-level domain name, they can be represented, communities. But that also brings in several different issues that has to be dealt with. You make sure that internet is more globally, is more culturally inclusive, and with this possibility to all scripts and languages to be and have their own presence on the internet. And then, as I mentioned, the geographic names, there is a number of applications from cities. So you have .London or .Berlin or .New York City. And then imagine if you have a pizza delivery in New York City, maybe you want your name of the company in .pizza.New York City, for instance. Well, that's an option. So there is an impact for the users as well. They have more choice, more innovation and competition for the user. They can come up with new ideas sparkled by that. And new ways for companies to inform their customers, to present their products and services. Now, to get at that level, and so to run a new top-level domain, there is an evaluation process that now it just ended. And you need to go through some serious steps, and you need to demonstrate that you have the technical and operational capabilities in the application to run that, and that you understand the technical requirements for operating a registry, and also that you actually have a background screening to see that you're not going to do any illegal activities on the internet through that. Actually, this innovation on the internet is also a way to address some of the issues that we saw before. So cases of cyber squatting, cases of, and we will see when I think the next speaker will speak about the trademark registration. When you have unclear procedures to go and complain if your name is being used or misused by a third party. And then, as I said, so there are more stringent safeguards. The safeguards are in place, and there are clear paths for presenting formal objection during the evaluation process. So there was an evaluation process that allowed everybody actually to go and see which application came out and say, well, actually, I don't think that this string is respecting this or that criteria. And then there is governments also. They have their role in ICANN, they have the constituency in ICANN, and they also have their role in ensuring that their rights and responsibilities as sovereign states are respected on the internet. And this one may interest you, and you can go back on that one. There are 4 grounds of objection that were part of this whole program. The string confusion, so to make sure that one string similarity doesn't create problems when you are on the internet. And that can be also because we are using different scripts. And so scripts can have a similar layout that the computer cannot recognize that, or you cannot recognize that. And then there are legal rights that are breached, and there are community objections. So if I want to go and I want to register, I don't know, .Wallonie, but actually I'm coming from the south of France, there could be some objection raised by the region and say, well, there is not the direct link there. They cannot do that, and that can stop the process. I see that the clock is running really fast, but I don't want to rush into that. So on the rights protection mechanism, we have this trademark clearinghouse, where allows basically, and I think yesterday they completed the policies for the trademark clearinghouse, which are all the detailed elements and policy that has to be respected. Then there is the uniform rapid suspension, where you actually, if you see that despite the fact that you have your name already protected in the clearinghouse, you see that someone is using your name in an illegal way, you can actually, there is a process that in 40 days around allows you to suspend this And this will be possible with a new top-level domain names. So it's kind of a more secure way that so far wasn't possible with the previous top-level domain names. And then, let me see. Well, these are all safeguards to make the internet more safe and secure. So what's next? So here, just to give you an update, as I said, on how do we stand now. So more than 1,700 new gTLDs passed the initial evaluation, so it's more or less 90% of all the application. So here you have the breakdown of the numbers, 121 were withdrawn, and 32 are in extended evaluation because there are some parts that are still missing, so they have to present some more documents, and there are different categories for why they are in extended evaluation. And of the application received, there are different categories of application. 82 is community-based. There was a process that you could actually apply without, I didn't mention that, but to participate in this project, there was an important fee to pay. It was 185,000 USD. But there was a possibility to apply through a community-based and actually have no fee to pay if you actually demonstrate that it's a no-profit use of the top-level domain. And 118 and 111 in internationalized, meaning scripts other than Latin. So I see the red alarming thing down there. So my time is over. Just to give you this information, that's the one that I wanted to get. So how do we stand now? So this colorful arrow here, you can see that. Let me do with the mouse. So the contracting is already started. Pre-delegation testing is already started. The right protection mechanism goes all over the scope. So since the beginning, you had this possibility to actually see and complain and see if something of your rights were infringed. And you will see that by the end of this year, early next year, you should see and in the root, so in the internet, these new domain names appearing and being used. And these, just to give you a short, so ICANN is a not-for-profit corporation, which means that we basically operate in an inclusive manner, and we have public meetings where all these policies decisions are taken, and everybody can participate on the public meeting. Next public meeting is going to be in Buenos Aires. They rotate across the world to ensure that everybody can participate, but you can also participate remotely. I know that there is a kind of steep slope to get into the terminology and the acronyms of the whole ICANN world, but the system is designed and is continuing to improve to actually have everybody included and everybody being able to shape these policies for the future. And with that one, more information, you can go on the website, of course, but catch me and here to answer your questions, and thank you for that. And I have 2 minutes 21 overtime. Thank you.